Welcome back, children. Let us continue with the line-wise paraphrasing of Act 1, Scene 2 of The Tempest, Part 4, starting from line number 153. Here we have Prospero and his daughter Miranda in conversation with each other. So Miranda says, "Alack for pity." She says, "Alas, what a pity. I not remembering how I cried out then, will cry it over again." So she says, "I really do not remember how I cried at that time when you and I were put onto the boat and we were thrown off into the ocean. So now I would like to cry. It is a hint that rings mine eyes to it." She says that what the story that you are telling me, it is compelling my eyes to shed tears. Prospero, hear a little further. He says, listen to a little more details of the story, and then I will bring thee to the present business which nows upon. He says, listen to the story a little further, and then I will come to the matter which at present we are dealing with, without the which this story were most impertinent. And if I don't give you the further details, without it this whole story would be totally irrelevant. Miranda, wherefore did they not that hour destroy us? She says, but I have a doubt that why did they not destroy us or kill us at that moment itself? Prospero, well demanded, wench. He says, well, the question is very good, you girl, or wench means a girl or a woman. My tale provokes that question. The story which I have told you, it does arouse that question in a person's mind. Dear, they durst not. He says, my dear daughter, they dare not kill us. So dear the love my people bore me. My people loved me so much that they would not dare to kill us, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, nor did they want to do anything which could make this whole plot look bloody, but with colors fairer painted their foul ends. But he says that they hid their evil designs with a very attractive appearance. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark. In few means in a few words, or in brief, they quickly put us onto a boat, bore us some leagues to the sea. They put us on a boat and took us a few miles away into the sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt. Now, carcass is actually the dead body of an animal. Here it has been used for a boat. He says that there they had prepared a very broken down boat. That's why it's called a carcass of a butt, not rigged, which did not have any equipment, nor tackle. It did not have any tackle, sail, mast. There were no ropes, no sails, no mast. The very rats instinctively have quitted. So that boat was in such a pathetic condition that even the rats fled from it immediately because they knew they would die. There they hoist us to cry to the sea that rode to us. He says there they put us onto that broken down rotten boat, where we could only just cry out to the ocean which rode back to us. To sigh to the winds, we could only cry out and take heavy breaths and show our sadness to the winds, whose pity sighing back again did us but loving wrong. And the winds, out of sympathy, they also sighed back to us, because whatever the harm the ocean did to us was done out of its love for us. Miranda, alack, what trouble was I then to you? She says, alas, what a great trouble I must have been for you at that time. Prospero, oh, a cherubim. He says, oh, you were a beautiful angel for me. Thou wast that did preserve me. He says it was you, because it was your presence that saved me from hopelessness. Thou did smile. He says, you kept on smiling, infused with the fortitude from the heaven, and you smiled in such a way as if you were filled with an inspiration, with great courage at that time from the heavens above. When I have decked the sea with drops full salt. And he says, while I at that time I was shedding tears, and the salty tears of mine, they filled the water of they filled the sea. Under my burden groaned, when I was groaning under my burden of grief, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against all should ensue. But the smiles, the way you were smiling, it rose my sinking spirits and helped me to stand up and fight against all the misfortunes which were coming to us. Miranda, how came we ashore? He says, how did we manage to reach land? Providence. Prospero says, by providence divine. He says, we managed to reach the land by the grace of Almighty God. Some food we had and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, who being then appointed the master of this design, did give us. He says that we had some food, we had some fresh water, which was put on that boat by a very kind-hearted Neapolitan, that is Gonzalo, who out of charity put it on the boat. At that time, who being then appointed master of this design, he was the one who had been given the responsibility of carrying out this heinous plot. Gave us this food and water with rich garments, linens, stuffs and necessaries which since have steaded much. Not only this, he also gave us some clothes, some linens, some other essential stuff which has really been of great use since then. So of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom. He says that the noble Neapolitan Gonzalo, he knew that I really loved my books. So he supplied me from my own library many volumes of the books of magic which are more precious to me, even more than my dukedom. Miranda, would I might ever see that man. She says, I wish that I might see that man whenever possible. Prospero, now I arise. He says, now I'm going to get up. Resumes his mantle. He wears his magical cloak. Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived. So he says that you keep sitting quietly and listen to the end of our sufferings on the sea and how we landed on this island. And here I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can. And he says, after we arrived on this island, I have acted as your schoolmaster, means I have acted as your teacher, and I have taught you many valuable things which are generally not taught to the other princesses that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful. And the other princesses, they waste most of the time in learning useless things, and their tutors are not very hard working and not careful as to the way in which we should be teaching the princesses the various important things. Thank you.